All right, what's going on, dudes, and welcome back to Minecraft, where this time I wanted to show you a little creation of mine. It also happens to be one of the more complex redstone and command block contraptions I put together, all for a fairly useless item, admittedly. However, it's a pretty good demonstration of some of the new things you can do with the recent snapshots. So without further ado, I present to you the Super Pick, which, if I hold it in my hands and look at the blocks ahead of me, it starts mining automatically, and it's amazing, and it doesn't matter which direction I'm looking in, it'll start clearing the blocks, and I can mine my way down to the bottom of the earth and out of the world if I want to, because it'll destroy bedrock as well, since it's using a set block command to place air in front of me. And once again, doesn't matter which direction I'm looking in, it'll mine whatever block I am looking at that's one block ahead of me. So that's how it works. If I switch off of it, it'll stop mining anything out, and it's a little bit dark. Let me get back to the light, switch onto it, and once again, it starts mining out the blocks. Pretty cool stuff, at least I think so. Once again, pretty useless because creative mode exists, but again, it's a good demonstration of some of the new commands that have been released in the recent snapshots. So allow me to explain how it works, or at least try to. Hopefully I can be coherent. So it's a three-step process. The first step, right here, is a set of 9 command blocks. Of course the rain would happen. It's a set of 9 command blocks that are just testing for whether or not I'm holding the Super Pick in my inventory. So each of these right here just has that same sort of command that I demonstrated in the last snapshot review, where it's simply testing for whether or not I have an item called Super Pick in a certain slot in my inventory. So this is the first slot where it's currently at. If I highlight the Super Pick, you'll notice the comparator gets set off. If I move the Super Pick to, I don't know, the 6th slot in my inventory and hold it, then the 6th slot gets set off. It's just for each of the 9 slots in my inventory, so it doesn't matter where I'm holding it. As long as I'm holding it, we are good to go. Now, when the comparator gets set off, it ignites this line of redstone. Doesn't matter which comparator goes off, and it'll set off this command block, which spawns, or it sets a piece of stone right here. And that enables this clock to pass through to all this redstone right here and go into the second stage of the process. So the second stage here is basically testing for each of these 16 command blocks that you see right in front are testing for my X and Y rotation. So there are 4 possible rotations. There's the, I forget, there's positive X, minus X, Z, and negative Z. So there's this way, this way, this way, and this way. And then in each of those rotations, there are also 4 sub-rotations for which block I'm looking at, as you saw when I was mining. There's the block that's down, there's the block that's at my feet, there's the block straight in front of me, and when I get down a little further, there is the block that's over my head. So each of those 4 sub-rotations within each 90-degree turn. Hopefully that makes sense. So basically, this row here is measuring for it corresponds to this direction. So just if I'm looking up, straight ahead, slightly down, or all the way down, the next row corresponds to me looking that way. The next row corresponds to me looking that way, and the top row corresponds to me looking that way. And again, the 4 command blocks there just are testing for my X rotation up and down. So that's how that works. And again, when I have the Super Pick out, it's running the test for command. And you can see if I go up here and look in this direction, because this is the row that corresponds to what direction am I looking at? I'm looking in negative Z. So the top row corresponds to negative Z. And if I look down, if I move up a little bit, sets off a different comparator, sets off a different comparator, you can kind of see there. And that's how it works. So now, what does it actually do when you set off one of these command blocks? So the first command block right here that it's running into, it sets a fill command to fill this entire bit in between the command blocks and the redstone repeaters over here with air. So it just clears everything out. And then the next one in front of it summons a stone block in a particular location here in front of one of these 16 repeaters. So once again, as I said, you have 4 possible directions, and in each of those directions you have 4 possible tilts for blocks you are able to mine out, at least the way I've set it up here. So when I pull this out and start looking in different directions, you'll notice that this block dances around. And in each of these command blocks, there's an execute command. And the execute command is setting a block of air in a particular location around me where I'm actually looking. that's how it works. So again, 16 possible combinations, 16 possible blocks I can be looking at for it to set a block in front of me and look like I'm actually mining that block out. Hopefully that makes sense. And then you may be wondering how the super pick deactivates when I actually am not holding it anymore. So that's this other area over here. So it's just, I've got an inverter right here. And so when I have the super pick in my hand, this is deactivated, and then it activates these two command blocks once I switch off of it. And the first one simply clears that whole area of any blocks so that the super pick isn't still running on that particular execute command. And then it also deletes this block right here just so that it's not testing for my rotation anymore. And then again, summoning these blocks over here, it just deactivates the stage 2 and stage 3 basically once I take the pick out of my active slot. So that's the general idea of how it works. Hopefully that made sense. Just to recap, testing for whether or not I'm holding the pick. If I am holding the pick, then it activates this set of command blocks, testing for what direction I'm looking in, 16 possible combinations, 4 rows of 4. And then each of those individual command blocks right here tests for well, once my rotation corresponds to one of them, the comparator outputs a signal into these two command blocks, one of which clears whatever was there before and summons a new block, which depends upon where I'm looking, and we'll start mining out blocks in that direction with the execute command, which summons a set block command or activates a set block command relative to my particular location. So anyway, once again, put it to use and start mining things out. You could probably quicken the response time ever so slightly by trying to take out a couple of the repeaters that may be in the steps, because it's only as fast as the repeaters permit it to be. But even so, it still has a pretty quick response time, and you know, you can mine away. Or you could use creative mode. It's up to you, but I'll include a save in the description if you're interested in playing around with it. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, a rating would be much appreciated. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.